Uh, Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Everybody is very difficult to say hi everybody because now we are very small of us in today dialogue. I don't know what happened with the rest of participants today, but maybe a difficult working day for everybody. But anyway, uh, there are two of us. Me, Svetlana Solomatova. I represent a global NGO, Institute Culture Affairs, and we have Anna Nikolov from Serbia. Anna, hi. Thank you to be here. And today our topic, we are going to talk about role of youth in building in local communities. And Anna is expert from Serbia. And Anna, say a couple words about yourself. Who are
Yeah.
you and where are you from? And what is role in your country?
Yeah. I'm from Serbia, from Belgrade, and I'm the coordinator of for the Balkans Association of Border Regions, and also I'm the director of planning of the Central Operation Service for the cross-border initiatives for the Balkans also, and we are dealing with the cross-border cooperation in the Balkan area.
It's great. And I forgot to say that I'm Svetlana Solomatov from Ukraine. Now I am in Kiev. Kiev is capital of Ukraine. And thank you for this topic, Anna. We create this topic together, and thank you very much for your agreement to talk about it. And I want to come back a little bit to our previous conversation. I mean, we started to talk about youth and youth role of youth in cross-border cooperation and peace building.
Mm-hmm.
And we started to talk about situation in Balkans because in Ukraine now we have the same situation, like terrible, difficult situation. And could you say, and I'm sure that not very few percentages of people understand what happened in Balkans. We have a lot of misinformation, but we don't know, we don't understand real situation. Could you say, describe what happened in Balkans
Yeah,
before
what
and now?
happened, I was young when everything started. It started 20 years ago. It was a nice country, and then the conflict just was there. And, the people from the Balkans, they are really hard people. So when they love each other really, but when they start to hate each other, then it's really like bad, like it happened before. So yeah, that's the part when you are passionate. So you can go to extreme from one to another part. So that's why the conflict escalates. You always have like powers that actually pushing the conflict to happen. But when it's there, then the people are just acting and reacting on the situation that is going on. Um, Right now, the conflict in the area is frozen. Some of we have a peace, and it's maintaining still. A lot of NGOs and the government organizations are working on it together because we have to work together. NGOs from the bottom up level and the national authorities from the top to bottom, top to bottom also. So they are working together actually and cooperating to not to prevent the conflict to happen again. Well, still we have some problems also there. Bosnia is really complicated, but for some reason it's still functioning. That's good, but I don't know. Are you familiar how the Bosnia, for example, what is it? It have like two entities and district Brčko. So one entity is Republic of Srpska, one entity is Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and you have district Brčko. And the majority, if Republic of Srpska is the majority of Serbs, and the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's created from 10 cantons, and there is the Croats and Muslim are living there. In the district Brčko, there is all three nationalities, And District Bruchko is maybe one good example of how it's possible to actually coexist and live together and to have the prosperity, because District Bruchko is not the property neither of the Republika Srpska of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, but they are have like neutrality, but the all three nationalities living there, and they are doing business together, going to school, and doing everything together, and they are developing in the fastest way than other part of Bosnia. So, for example, that's the good way how you can actually cooperate even after the conflict. You know, of course, it always takes time to conflict to be resolved and to be reconciliated. But it's now, you know, a lot of years passed, but still there is some, you know, it's impossible to just resolve the conflict in 15 years, you know, or 20 years. Yeah, you need time. You need one generation to actually come to have another generation that will not have experience from the war. It's really hard.
Anna, it's you even don't understand right now. Maybe you can feel what I feel right now, but it's terrible feeling inside of me because it's very difficult to understand that we need couple generation to resolve conflict. And to change couple, it's 100, it's less than 100 years ahead, and I am not going to live so long.
No. You know, it's not to resolve, to come back to the part when everything is really nice, you know, and there is no conflict. When you have a conflict, and then after the conflict, there is a scars. So you have to heal the scars and heal the people, and that's the process. If you are lost somebody in the war, it's really hard for you to forgive. But there is some cross-border projects, for example, the peace financing by the EU peace project between UK and North Ireland, and after their conflict. There was a lot of projects that are dealing with that conflict there, and still they're working on it, you know. That's continuous process. They're in good relation now. They're doing business together. They have some cooperation between communities in some social aspects, you know, but it takes time. You know, it's better, of course, It's better when it's not the conflict on, and every day you work to improve it, but it takes time.
Anna, and now Ukraine is really on a start in peace building, and certainly it's better to according to make decision according on your experience. And what I heard from you right now, one of the better way for peace building is cooperation, different kind of cooperation.
Yes, on different level. Yeah, I think the cooperation and you have to talk with the people, and they have to talk between each other. But I think that's the only way. If you establish the new friendship between the people from the both sides of the border, that's the best way. You know, you have to re-establish actually the friendship that exists before. It's hard, you know. It always starts with some light projects or business. Usually the business is something that connects people more quickly because they have like interest to cooperate, but in some occasion the friendship is built, and then they start to spread that. So I think that the building the friendship is actually the best way to establish the peace in any area. Well, depending on the area is how you will, you know, achieve that.
And who play the most active role in building friendship? What level of generation? do it best?
Usually young people, yeah, of course. If you are organizing some seminar of, like now, it was the Youth in Action program or Erasmus or whatever, that you connect all these people together and have some workshop or something. They also have the days when they are just hanging around or showing their culture from each other, learning, and they become a friends. If you have the 20 projects like that, and you have 20 or 30 people per project, at least 3 or 4 of them will become a friends. So in the, when you're counting, it's 3 plus 3 plus 3, and finally it will be a lot of people. But that's how it works. You go from person to person, and when you establish the friendship, then you can, they will do something together, or they will visit each other, so they will meet more people, and they will start to change their picture in a positive way. So the friendship is actually the best way to building the peace in the area,
Anna,
because
and
tomorrow they will be
okay,
like successful people or politicians, or so they can actually make some positive difference if it's not today. So I don't
And
know, do you understand what I wanted to
yeah,
say?
I understand. And before I ask you the main question for our topic, what role of for youth in building in local communities, the best practice or something like that. And I want to ask you a question about adult education, because I think that you said that yours play a very important role in forgiveness, yes, process. And what is difficulties with adults? What is difficulties with us in this
Yeah,
process?
yeah, yeah. Well, the youth is playing the active role in building the new connections, and rebuilding the trust between the people. But you also have to work with the elders to actually reconciliate, to achieve to forgive each other. Because if you are lost somebody in the war, it's really hard personally for you to, you are involved, and that's the scar, and that have to be healed. It's a long process with the mediation or different kind of projects that you can also implement, working with person by person project. People to people projects in these cases are the best. If you go with a large scale project, you will never have good effects in the border areas, for example. So you use people to people project to actually educate and mediate with the people to re-establish the connection and to reconciliate. That's the main challenge, and that's going hard and slowly, but it's possible.
Thank you. And you said that you work with youth and you develop youth cross-border youth cooperation. Could you share the best practice, what work in your organization? What you are proud of that? What
Best
your the
practice
biggest
is
proudest?
rebuilding the peace, or you think in best practice you're building the local communities? Because
The same. And you can talk about cross-border cooperation and local community, because personally for me it doesn't matter. It's touch these two subjects join very much. Because if you improve cross-border cooperation, you help your local community for developing more.
Yeah, of course. But you have cross-border cooperation in local community that are creating some business incubators in the border area that will be used from the both sides of the border, and then you give them the tools and the educators who will help them to start their businesses. So and you connect them in one place or in the two places depending on the area. So they establish the connection to doing business together. These days it's really easy because you have the new technologies and the internet, and so they can work virtually for forever, whatever. But also it's good if they meet from time to time in these incubators where they can have services. So one of the good examples is actually to create the business incubators where they can work together, and too good for the both side of the border. That's for example one.
And how many business incubators you have in Serbia?
Well, in the whole Serbia, there is a lot of, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, it become really popular. Also, the co-working offices are also become really popular. Where you know you have the large office where there is a different young people who are entrepreneurs coming have their table, but they're also connected because, for example, you have designer there, and then you have somebody who is developing the website and somebody who is like producing the grappa or something else, so they can connect. So co-working offices is now really popular, so you have it all over the Serbia, for example. And in the border area, they are still not developed, but there is some project that will develop that in the future.
And question about about additional value. What kind of additional value this activity, like business incubator, create for local communities?
Well, you know, the first and the most important is that the young people are staying in their local communities and in the border area, because usually they're leaving these places because they have no opportunity for work, to education, or to establish themselves like successful young people. So they're leaving to the cities, and these areas are becoming depopulated, and some of the like villages or the small cities are dying because of it. You know, they're just full of the old people, 50, 60 years old, and that's all. So the most important value of developing like business incubators or supporting the business in the border area is to keep the young people there. And because they will develop their area, and they will be like the main stone of this area. So it will keep peace for sure, you know, because they needed to develop the business, but it will be good for the society, because if you have the young people who will stay there, they'll create they will have their families there, and they will have more children there, and then the community can develop if you have the young and optimistic people.
Anna, and what is in your culture, in local community culture? My question is about what reaction of adult or elderly people in local communities when young generation start to be very active.
They're supportive, I have to say, because they want the young people to stay, especially in border area, because there is a really critical situation. You have a lot of empty villages, and there is just old people that are left. So they're more than happy to support, to be there for the young if they wanted to stay.
And could you say a couple examples? What kind of businesses young people create in these kind of incubators?
Well, usually it's some kind of relate to the new technologies, because when you are connected with new technologies, you can work from wherever part of the world it is, or it's connected with something that's is produced in these border areas. Depending if it's a mountain, maybe some herbs, or you know, cheese, or if you have a goat or sheep, or depending of the area. You know, sometimes it's the agriculture products, sometimes are just services like IT services, for example, developing the websites, or programming the some application, or really depending on of the area. There is a variety, you know, and all them when they're connected in the hub or the co-working area, they are really creative to create a new jobs, you know. So to to have young people in one room that are specialists in the different areas, and then they start to talk, of course, and have fun, and then some crazy nice idea always come up, and then they start to do another business, and they then employ more young people, and that's how it goes. It's hard to
Thank you.
start for them, but when they start, they're just flying.
Thank you, Anna. And question about local government and how local government support this activity, support the activity of young people in business incubators, and how local government support or create safety environment to work for this.
Well, the thing is, usually the local government, they have no finances for that, but they usually are given the space where they can have their impact hub or co-working space, or some other programs, or but usually they don't have a fund. They will be the partner in that if you have the funds to actually create it. They will not stop you, but usually they're in the border area, especially the municipalities are really poor.
And how difficult in Serbia to have license or to have piece of land or space for open this kind of incubators?
It's not so hard, well, no, in the last 10 years, the procedure is become more easier. To become owner, well, you have to buy the land or the building, or to build the building. It's not so complicated, and there is a guidelines also in English. Created by the Chamber of Commerce for if somebody want to invest in that kind of projects here. So it's not so complicated, but you need some fund to actually create it.
And I ask you because I don't know how many years Serbia needed to resolve a corruption system, because it's very difficult in Ukraine right now to make this process very easy. And I don't know what was situation in Serbia before and what changed after war, after conflict.
Well, we still have a little bit corruption.
That's why I ask you how difficult to have this space.
And still you have to fight with that. But for this, it's hard to find the land, private land that will suit you. Or maybe you can buy some building, or you can even rent the space. And you have, for example, after the privatization, and we have a lot of companies that were successful back in the 90s, before the 90s, and now they are not working anymore. There is a lot of empty space that can be actually both. So, well, I don't know. You can always have somebody who wants to be corrupt, but it's not must. You can do it without that also.
And my question, what I mean when I ask this question, what I want to understand, how many years Serbia local government people needs to understand that they must or have to support business activity in local level without corruption? How many years this process takes?
Well, that's the two different things. They understand they have to support the local activities to build the business there, because people have to work somewhere, so they have to live from something. But the corruption is in mentality of the people for, I don't know, centuries maybe. So you have to work on that for years. Yeah, a lot of is been done in the past, the corruption now, and 10, 15 years ago, it's really, really different, Now it's small scale.
10 years. I heard these numbers because people love numbers.
You have some laws, you have some awareness raising, and you work on it, but well, it goes slowly. Every time when you change the people's minds, it goes slowly. It's impossible to do it overnight.
Okay, thank you. I understand. Thank you very much, Anna. And maybe it's the last question for today for you. And because thank you, you spent with me 40 minutes today. I think it's enough for your very busy day. And question, could you make your recommendation, some recommendation for Ukrainian youth people? And maybe you can push them to do something together with your organization.
Of course, we are always open to do something, some cross-border project, or to transfer the knowledge from the Europe or Balkans to Ukraine, to help them to, I don't know, whatever they're interested in. Depends of the youth, are they interested in rebuilding peace, or they're interested in make the business, or they're interested to protect the environment and to improve the environment. We have the good examples from the different areas. Well, depends on which area they're focused.
And the question is if yes people who will see us, who will listen our conversation, and suddenly decided to have a deal with you, how is possible to contact with you?
I think you posted on this handout the context, so they can also contact you, and you can give them the email or the web page. I think it's also online there in the conversation. Yeah.
Yes, of course, and everybody can post your
Or
interest
via Facebook
just
or
anywhere.
via website, email, I don't know. So they can contact me. It's not the problem. So it's just if they have idea to cooperate, we are always for the cooperation.
Great. Anna, thank you very much. I really appreciate you for today's conversation. I think for me personally, it was very useful to understand additional value of the best cooperation between adult or elderly generation and youth together. And what is for me, it's a resume of our conversations, that I understand that youth is very active, and they very great for new connection, and adult people have more wisdom maybe, and when we start to work together, I think it will be the best result.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to having this conversation.
Yes, and thank you very much, and see you next week. If you have a time, you are welcome to Online Dialogue. And sorry for very limited participants today. I don't know what happened today.
It's okay.
Maybe they allowed to make deep interview with you today. Thank you very much. Have a great day.